Okay, imagine trying to build something incredibly tiny, like microscopic level tiny.
Right.
And you have to connect these minuscule parts, but you absolutely cannot use much heat or you'll just destroy them.
It's a huge challenge in modern electronics manufacture.
Exactly. How do you stick these microscopic things together perfectly? Make them strong, make them reliable, but without, melting everything.
Yeah.
So that's what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into two really cutting-edge types of copper.
Nanotwinned copper NTQ.
Right, and nanocrystalline copper, NCQ. These aren't your everyday copper wire.
Not at all. They're marvels of material science, really. Microstructural marvels.
And they're totally changing how we bond things in advanced electronics.
Mm.
So our mission today
Mhm.
is to explore how these materials let us make these super strong, really high-quality copper-to-copper connections, but at surprisingly low temperatures.
Which is the key part, the low temperature aspect.
We'll look at what makes each one unique, how their structures, make this possible, and why this is such a big leap. For everything from the chip in your phone to the big AI modules.
Yeah, it's a fundamental shift.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, it's fascinating because these material innovations, they directly tackle that core manufacturing problem we mentioned.
The heat problem.
Exactly. Getting reliable connections is non-negotiable in electronics.
Mm-hmm.
But traditional ways, they often need high heat, which is just bad news for delicate components.
Right.
So manipulating copper at the nanoscale, like with NTC and NCC, it gives us a way around that, a very clever way.
Okay, so let's start with the first one then. Nanotwinned copper, NTQ. Its microstructure sounds really unique. You hear about these highly 11-oriented faces and these vertical twin boundaries, very dense ones.
That's right. Think of those twin boundaries like, we mentioned atomic scale mirrors earlier. That's actually a pretty good analogy.
Yeah.
They're incredibly ordered, very low energy planes within the crystal structure, not just random defects.
So they're structured pathways.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Calming superhighways. And the 111 orientation, that specific crystal face, is crucial. It's like having a perfectly smooth crystalline ramp that helps atoms move easily across the surface.
And I read it goes through this polishing step first, CMP, chemical mechanical polishing.
Yes, that's critical.
To get the surface roughness way down, like maybe 2.4 nanometers.
Exactly. That extreme smoothness is vital.
Why is that so important? Just for contact.
It's about maximizing that initial contact area and ensuring uniformity. That smoothness, combined with the 111 face, that's where the magic happens for low-temp bonding.
Okay.
Because that 111 crystal face of copper, it has an incredibly high surface diffusion coefficient.
Meaning atoms move across it really fast.
Extremely fast. We're talking like 10,000 times faster than other crystal faces. It's staggering.
Wow. So how does that let it bond at low temperatures, like way below melting point?
Right. That's the key question, isn't it? Under the right conditions, specific pressure and temperature, the copper atoms use these twin boundaries on that super diffusive 111 surface.
The atomic superhighways.
Exactly. They move via something called creep-assisted diffusion. It's like they're actively guided to fill in any tiny gaps or voids at the interface.
So it kind of self-repairs the connection as it forms.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
It leads to this incredibly dense, almost pore-free bond, and it happens fast, maybe 10 minutes.
Just 10 minutes. At what temperature?
Even down between 150, maybe 200 degrees Celsius, way below typical bonding temps.
That's incredible. And for the real-world impact, this is where it gets really interesting, right?
Absolutely.
You can imagine stacking chips, like tiny electronic skyscrapers, without cooking the layers underneath.
Precisely. That low-temperature, high-quality bond is perfect for things like 3D integrated circuits or bonding a chip directly to a wafer.
Especially when you have a very strict thermal budget, you can't afford to heat things up too much.
Exactly. You can build complex structures layer by layer without damage.
Okay, so NTQ uses this unique structure, these twin boundaries, for fast, low-temp bonding. But what if your main problem isn't just speed, but impurities mucking things up?
Ah, yes. Impurities are a constant battle in semiconductor manufacturing.
That's where the second one comes in, right? Nanocrystalline copper, or NCQ.
Exactly. It takes a different but equally clever approach.
So its structure is different. It's about ultrafine grains, like 50 nanometers.
Very small grains, yes.
Yeah.
And what that means is you have a huge number of grain boundaries packed into a small volume.
And those boundaries also act as diffusion paths.
They do. But NCQ uses this really smart dual-layer strategy.
Okay, tell me about that. It's not just the NCQ.
No, it's a combo. You have a thin top layer, maybe 300 nanometers, of the nanocrystalline copper.
Right.
But underneath that, There's a much thicker layer, maybe 3 micrometers, of coarse-grained copper, CGQ.
Coarse-grained, so bigger grains.
Much bigger grains. And this dual-layer setup is really quite pragmatic for manufacturing. It tackles the impurity problem head-on.
How does it do that? What do the 2 layers do?
Well, the thin and C layer on top, with all its grain boundaries, that's what initiates the bond. It promotes rapid grain growth right at the interface.
Okay, gets the connection started quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the magic is in the thicker, coarse-grained layer underneath. It acts as an impurity sink.
An impurity sink, like a trap.
Precisely. Nasty impurities, things like carbon, sulfur, chlorine, which are almost always present to some degree.
Yeah, they can ruin the bond.
Right. They can cause defects, voids, weaken everything. The CG layer basically sucks these impurities down away from that critical bonding interface.
That is clever. It cleans up the area while the bond forms.
It actively manages them, prevents them from accumulating where they can do damage.
And the result for bonding? Temperature and time.
That's the other impressive part. With this NC plus CG structure, you can get effective bonding at just 100 degrees Celsius, though it takes about 60 minutes.
Still, 100 degrees, that's really low.
Or if you can go up to 200 degrees C, it can bond in just 5 minutes.
5 minutes. That sounds incredibly mass production friendly.
It really is. That speed and low temperature makes it fantastic for high volume stuff. Think AI packaging modules, components with tons of connections, high I/O density.
And I saw there was recent research confirming this from Hong Kong City University.
Yes, work from 2025 has really validated the potential. It's making these complex high-density modules much more feasible to produce at scale.
So 2 different coppers, 2 different strategies, but kind of aiming for the same goal.
Fundamentally, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Both NTU and the NCCG system are all about controlling the microstructure and how the interface evolves during bonding.
It's about managing grain growth.
Managing grain growth, grain coalescence, how grains merge together, all at low temperatures. The goal is to eliminate those interface defects, those voids.
And clever processing is key for both, like the CMP polishing for NTQ and this dual layer design for NCQ.
Absolutely critical. It's all about controlling voids and stopping impurities from getting stuck, what's called impurity pinning, which weakens the bond.
Okay. What about looking ahead? Are there new trends or improvements on these?
Yeah, there's ongoing research. For NTU, some work suggests that changing the orientation from 111 to 110...
A different crystal face.
Right. It might actually improve the ductility and toughness, make it even more mechanically reliable for certain applications.
Interesting.
And potentially even more exciting is this idea of dual microstructure synthesis.
Meaning combining them.
Sort of, yeah.
Oh.
Creating structures that have both NTQ and NCQ features, maybe in layers or a gradient.
Trying to get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. Imagine combining the super fast diffusion of NTQ with the excellent impurity control of the NCCG system. That could lead to even better bond reliability and mechanical strength.
That sounds really promising. Okay, maybe we can quickly summarize the key differences for everyone listening, a technical comparison.
Good idea.
So, for Nanotwinned copper NTQ, you've got those special 111 vertical twin columnar grains.
Yep, the ordered structure.
Diffusion is super high, using both surface and grain boundary paths. Bonding is like 150, 200 Celsius, around 10 minutes.
Pretty quick.
Surface treatment is that CMP polishing, gets roughness down to maybe 2 nanometers. Really good control over tiny pores. So it's great for things like 3D ICs, chip-to-wafer, low-pressure stuff where quality is paramount.
Right. High-precision applications.
Okay. Then the nanocrystalline copper, the NCQ plus CG2 system.
The dual layer approach.
Structure is that fine grain layer on top of a coarse grain layer.
Correct.
Diffusion is high through grain boundaries, but the big thing is the impurity management from that CG layer acting as a sink.
Crucial for reliability.
Bonding can be super low temp, 100 for C for an hour, or faster at 200 C, like 5 minutes.
Very flexible thermal budget.
Surface treatment involves electroplating, focused on impurity control via that CG sink. It's excellent at stopping voids and impurities migrating.
Making it very suitable for mass production.
Right, really friendly for mass production, AI modules, high I/O density things.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how each approach uses a distinct microstructural design.
Yeah, totally different structures.
But they're both laser focused on that same goal. Strong, reliable copper bonds, but without the high heat that used to be unavoidable.
They really crack the code in 2 different ways.
2 powerful solutions to a major bottleneck in electronics manufacturing.
So wrapping this up, what are the big takeaways here?
No.
Nanotwinned copper, NTQ, Gives us this super fast, very low temp, extremely high quality bond. Great for sensitive, dense, complex integration.
Yes, high performance, high precision.
And nanocrystalline copper, NCQ, with that clever dual-layer trick.
Yep.
It offers a reliable, low-temp process that's built for industrial scale-up because it handles impurities so well.
Exactly. Robustness and manufacturability.
So these innovations, it's really about the microstructure control and the processing.
Absolutely. That's the foundation. They're pushing copper bonding into a whole new era. Low temperature, high reliability, and genuinely mass-producible.
Which is essential for the future of electronics, right?
Yeah.
Smaller, faster, more powerful.
And potentially more reliable and energy efficient to make.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Think about what this means for future gadgets. Not just smaller and faster, but maybe tougher, more efficient to build, perhaps even greener manufacturing.
Good point.
What other big material challenges out there, beyond just bonding, do you think could be solved by playing with materials at this microstructural level? Something to chew on.